Hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited about 2022 and this is my first video of the year. Hopefully I'll be able to share at least 2 or 3 videos per month. This year is going to be hectic, but I hope I manage to post more videos. So in this video today, I'll be sharing with you my top 5 financial goals, and I'll be looking into things that went well in 2021 that I would like to implement in 2022 and also improve in 2022. I would also like to look into things that didn't go well in 2021 that I would also like to change in 2022. So hopefully in the way that I go about my planning, you guys can learn something and also be able to implement some things in your own goal setting. Okay, so one thing about me, I'm big in planning. So I thought, what is it about 2022 that I want to do differently or that I want to improve? And I realized that this year, it's simply just about execution. So I just want to focus on executing my plans. I think throughout the years, I've always been big in planning and I planned so many things, some short, some medium, some long term. But I think this year, I just want to focus on, hitting my goals and as per the targeted dates. Okay, most of my financial plans are annually and I deal with them on a month-to-month basis, which is easier to manage. But I just want to make sure that in December, when I come back to you guys, I can say, well, I've achieved those goals. Okay, so yeah, we can get started. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like my video. And also, guys, please follow me on Instagram. I would really appreciate it. Okay. So I have my journal with me and I will be using it to guide me on this video. So number 1, I want to change my strategy on budgeting. Okay, so I am also big in budgeting as well. I budget every month and every month is a lesson and every month comes with its own challenge. And I think the more consistent you are with your budget, the more successful you are in budgeting. So I do it every month, and some months are more difficult than others. Like, you are never an expert on budgeting because, well, things do come, right? So the challenge that I noticed in 2021 was that in as much as I budget to zero before I can continue, budgeting to zero means that every cent that is in your income is accounted for. You know where it goes, right? So in as much as I did that, I didn't incorporate all the activities that I needed to do with that money, meaning that I allocated a huge portion of my income to my savings. And then when things come, like the trip that I took to George, I had to dip into my savings. So this year from the get-go, I want to allocate things rightfully to my income, right? So if I am to go on a trip, I should know from the get-go that 5,000 Rand is for a vacation for the year, instead of me allocating into my savings and having to go back and dip into my savings to do that activity. So I just need to be realistic with my budgeting and also, make sure that I cover all these activities. So I want to create something which is called a sinking fund, right? Because these are the type of things that are not on your budget, but they do come and they will come. For example, birthday, right? So you need to assume the amount in which or estimate the amount in which you will spend, and you need to save it throughout the months before your birthday comes, so that you don't have to dip like me into your savings, and then that reduce the total amount of money that you got to save. So I'm creating a sinking fund. I'm not gonna expect a huge return from this fund, so I'm gonna use my Capitec account and create a sinking fund, and I'll be saving for things such as my birthday and such as desk renewal. One thing that I like doing is buying groceries in bulk, so I'm gonna save for that as well. So I have an amount allocated to those things, and I'll be saving it throughout the year just to make sure that when they come, they have money that is directly allocated to them. Therefore, I won't have to dip into my savings and feel like I'm undisciplined. Okay. So number two, I want to focus on my investment portfolio. And this is very important to me because I'm big on cash. So I'm that type of person who has always had cash, because from the time that I started working, I've always been saving about 60% of my income. Right, so I accumulated a lot of cash, and the way I would save it on cash account, meaning that money market, fixed deposit, or normal savings account. Right, I slowly started moving some money to my investment account, you know, just to balance my portfolio. So you need to diversify your portfolio into different asset classes to make sure that, you know, your growth is it's enough, and also that your risk are minimized. So for me, I think I'm currently more conservative because I'm saving cash on cash account, fixed deposits, but I could get more. So I'm limiting the potential in which my money can make. So this year I'm focusing on moving more of my money to my investments, and this is to property and to shares as well. So currently I have 76% of my, I'll say, assets as cash, and the rest on, you know, shares and other things. So now I want to at least be 50% on cash and move the rest of the money to other investment classes. So that is number 2. So on number 2, I just want to mention that I was reading a book called Global Investment Made Easy when I made this realization. So this book was written by Warren Ingram, and he mentioned that if you have an estimate in terms of like where you want to go, you need to make sure that the way in which you're investing is aligned with where you want to go. For an example, I need to make my money, and I need to make my money and a lot of it now while I'm younger, so that I don't have to work extra hard when I'm older, right? That's just me, right? And in the pace in which my money is going currently, I'm not satisfied because it's growing in a slower pace because it's in a cash basis account. So I'm more looking into increasing my growth, the growth of my income, and also increasing the income itself. So that leads me to my third point. The third point, or maybe before I can go, right? Warren Ingram, I think I wrote it down somewhere. Anyway, I'll just put the page on diversifying your portfolio, overall portfolio here on my description. Okay, sorry about that. So I was just talking about the third point. The third point is dividends, right? So I'm looking into restructuring my whole portfolio. Like I mentioned on the second point, I want to have more income, and I want my money to grow. So one way in which my money can grow is through dividends. So I have shares, right? I have a couple of shares, and they do pay dividends, and I have ETFs that also do pay dividends. So I want to make sure that I have a dividend calendar. Let me just quickly show you how a dividend calendar looks like, because I created one for myself. I have a dividend calendar, which is a calendar that tracks how much you get from your shares on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, on a semi-annual basis, right, depending on that type of share. So I created something like this. Oh Jesus, I know it's not that visible. I created that just to make sure that I track all the income that I get from dividends, so that I know on an annual basis how much do I get from my dividends. So this year I'll be focusing on companies that will be paying dividends, so that I know exactly how much to expect from my dividends. That's another thing that I'll be doing. For some of you who do not know, dividends is an income that you get for being a shareholder. So when a company does well, they take a portion of their profit to give to their shareholders. Okay, so let's see what's coming. Oh, savings and investments. Okay, so I want to this is number 4. I want to maximize my tax-free savings account. Okay, so last year what happened was I started my tax-free savings account on Easy Equities through buying ETFs, right? So I maximized it last year, and that was really, it generated a lot of growth, and I appreciate it because the plan for me is to follow and maximize on the benefit of the tax-free savings account. So I know that if I am to save about 13 years, I'm probably going to be on 1 million, and with an average of like maybe 600,000 of my own money and 300 and something thousand of the interest that is generated by the tax-free savings account. That's if the estimated interest rate is maybe 8. Okay, and that's something that I feel like I can get from my ETFs on easy equities. So I am planning on maximizing my tax-free savings account yearly from 2021 going forward. I'll be maximizing it, and of course, if you want to understand more on tax-free savings account, I will attach a video somewhere here because I've already spoken about it last year. Okay, so that's something that I feel like it's great. It happened in 2021 and I'm continuing to do it in 2022. Last but not least, I want to prioritize paying off my debt. Okay, so I have my biggest debts being my car loan. Jesus, I have so many things. My car loan and my house loan, my bond. Okay, so those are like my biggest loan, and I feel uncomfortable because now I'm not able to save 60% of my income as much as I used to do when I started working, because I didn't have either a house or a car. So now that I do, I'm not able to save as much as I used to do. So I'm prioritizing paying these things off, at the same time expanding on income generating stuff. Could be starting a business, etc., but I'm focusing on that. So I want to pay off my debt. There's 2 ways of paying off your debt. There is the Alavanche method, which focuses on paying the highest interest rate debt. So you list all your debts, and then after listing them, you put the interest rate of those debts, and then you look into the one that is charging you the highest interest rate, and you start paying that one first. That's the Alavanche method. So the reason why maybe this method is preferred is that where you are charged a highest interest rate, you're probably going to spend more if you have that loan for longer. All right. The second method is the snowball. I think a lot of people do this one. I did this one in 2021. That is a method in which you pay up the small debts first, right? And also these two are related a little bit, because small debts most of the time have the highest interest, right? Like your credit card, like your clothing account. You find that you're paying more than 20% of interest rate on this Sikoloto. So then you end up paying more unnecessarily. So last year I went on a journey to pay off my debts. So I paid off my router. I paid off my phone. So I have 2 phones. So I have the one that I'm shooting, and I have this one of them I bought it last year, and I bought it on credit, and it was about 800 per month, and I was like, that's a lot of money going out in a monthly basis. So I went and I dipped into my savings, and I agreed with myself that this is the money that we are willing to lose for the sake of having this phone, because I'm not about to pay that 800 for 24 months. So I dipped into my savings and I paid up that phone so that I am not into any other debt except my car and my home loan. Okay, so now on my car and my home loan, I decided that on my home loan, I'm gonna continue to pay 2,000 Rand more on my home loan, and on my car installment I'll pay 1,000 Rand extra, just to make sure that at least I shorten the period in which I have this debts. So that's it from my side. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and you guys will be able to execute as much as I'm willing to execute. So speaking about execution, maybe before I go, I want to say that when it comes to execution, it's just about putting the right tools together to control you, kind of, you know. It's putting the tools that set you up for success. For an example, when it comes to savings, for me, I have a debit order that takes my money away right when the salary gets into my account, and certain amount of money is debited into my savings account. So I don't have to think about it, it's gone. So I make sure that every expense is debited. It's better that way. Then I don't have to think about it. I don't have to set it up all the time. For an example, when it comes to my bond, I said I want to pay 2,000 rand more. I have started since the time that I had it, and I organized with the bank that when they deduct their original installment, they should add 2,000 rand, and it's already set up, so I don't have to think about it. So hence, I'm focusing on execution, and I'm focusing on tools that will allow me to execute. For an example, when it comes to sinking fund, for things like my vacation, for things like my bulk groceries, for things like my birthday, I joined a stokvel, so just to hold myself accountable, so that those are the things that I will need. So I need to like focus on making sure that the money is there when I need those things. So I joined a stokvel that will allow me to have that money when I need it. So yeah, let's execute. 2022, execute. Bye.